Hello everybody, I've gotten a couple of requests to do this, and in addition, it's just, since this is such a common car, I thought, hey, it'd be a good idea to make a video, a car tour of my car, my daily driver, if that's what you want to call it, for the past, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years at this point. It is a 2008 Ford Escape XLT, which is the 6-cylinder version. Pardon all the pollen. We are right in the middle of Virginia's pollen season, and I don't usually wash my car. But it's still pretty shiny and nice. So obviously here's the front. It does say Escape right there next to the license plate holder. I did paint this grille. As you can see, it is a couple of years old, so there are a couple of specs here and there, but other than that, it looks pretty good. I know they do, at least in some of the newer versions, they do offer that you could have had your grille customized at the time of purchase, but since I have a black car, it kind of works. For the most part, the body's in relatively good shape. This little thing right here isn't exactly nice because, well, I used to work at a gas station, and when I was pulling into a parking spot one time, I was going through a gas pump, and I accidentally kind of hit the little posts that are next to the pump so you don't run into the pump themselves. I did also paint the rims black. Not really one of my prouder jobs, but it was like 20 degrees when I was doing it, so, you know, for what it's worth, it's actually pretty decent. On the back, I've actually added these proximity sensor kind of things, so the car beeps when I'm in reverse, so I know when I'm about to hit something. This backup camera I did add in as well. But other than that, most of the car is original. Since this is the 2008, it does not actually have a handle down here to open the trunk. I believe that was, I guess it must have been a bit of an annoyance because in the newer versions they do have a little trunk latch, but we do have the main latch right here as well as a secondary button to open up the, I don't know what you want to call it, the back window, I guess. It does work really well. Oh, by the way, there's the XLT badge right there. The trunk is fairly decent sized. I've moved a couple times through here, and I've had absolutely no issues with holding space. I guess in newer, better versions, there was a little option where you can get like a little cover to go over your groceries or whatever. But I don't have that here. There's pockets on both sides right here, so you could store your stuff, like in this case, I have a hard drive right there. And over here, I have a cheap little first aid kit. And under here, get this wire out of the way, there are 2 doors. This is to hold stuff. I don't believe there's anything important here. And back there is the jack for the spare tire, which is underneath here. If you want to see it, there's the spare tire. It's not a full size, it's only a donut, but you know, that's all you should expect. There we go. And there's a little pocket down here to add some more stuff. I didn't actually get a cover with it. Well, I actually did get a cover, but it was not a cover that was actually for this model. I don't know what it was for, but it wasn't for this one. So I just kind of put a little car vacuum in there. And it works really nice. I've also added a little cigarette lighter down here in the event that I want to plug something in, because there is none in the back. So there's that. There's the tail lights. I was thinking about painting them black too. I guess that was a trend that I had, painting things black a couple of years ago. But in Virginia, unfortunately, it's against the law to do that, so I didn't do that. I'm so glad I researched that beforehand. Here's the back seat right here, which it doesn't have the most room for a back seat, especially for an SUV, but it certainly does fit. I've certainly driven 4 or 5 people around here at a time, and there's certainly no complaints. I'm about 6 feet tall, and I am almost hitting the seat right here, but it's still not uncomfortable. I certainly don't have any objections to that. There's a lot of leg foot room at the bottom, which is nice. Right here is a second outlet. Sometimes this does come off. That's just my car, I guess. Yeah, second outlet right there, and then there's another little pocket down here, so you can, add various things. I just have a little waste can right there, which is held in by rubber band, so I can take it off if I need to. Then the rear cup holders are right here. I love about these rear cup holders is that, first off, they're not like right here where they would take up the middle seat, and also the middle seat cup holders very rarely ever work very well, but these actually hold a cup in. And in addition, I can actually use them for me because it's like right there. So I usually just keep some disinfectant wipes. And in this case, I have some odor eliminator right there. There is not very much headroom in the back, but that's not having much to do with the car itself. More so the fact that there's a sunroof right there, and the sunroof there needs to be space for the glass to go for the sunroof. And there's the other side right there. Of course, you have your standard set of speakers in each set of the doors, and also a little pocket right here. Lots of little pockets. I just keep my ice scraper. And there's a door handle right here. I can't demonstrate the windows, but they do not go all the way down in the back. One more thing, I guess for older people or younger people with babies, which seems to be a ever-growing trend these days. There are 3, and it's kind of hard to see with that bright LED because, and that actually rhymed right there. While I'm on the topic, I should say that I did replace all of the LEDs in this, all the lights in this car with LED panels. Doesn't look very great, I will admit that, but it certainly does do the job a lot better. But as you can see, there's 3. I guess I can zoom in on that. The 3 clamps for holding a child car seat, so your little ones don't get killed in an accident. This does have driver's side gas hookup. I know the newer Ford Escapes and almost a lot of the newer Ford cars today are made actually have them on the passenger side for some reason, but not on this one. Right here's keyless entry. It does work, and I do know the code to it. It's actually fairly easy to figure out the code if you don't know it. It saved me a bunch of times. I've never actually locked my keys in my car. Well, I've never actually done that in general, but even if I did, it would not actually be a problem. So here's the front seat right here. Very comfortable. I can get along very well with this right here. There's quite a bit of space underneath. As you can see, I have these aftermarket floor mats that don't really go all the way over, unless I bring them all the way down, which I really don't like to do. Here's the rear view mirror. This car did not come with very many add-ons, but this is clearly one. This is one of those automatic mirrors, which works very well. And behind it is a little compass, which will show right here when the car's turned on. And then there's dash cam that I added in. And then here's the front console right here with 2 cup holders with little plastic rubbery thing insert so you can take it out and clean it. And a little cubby space right down here if you want to, add like a work badge or what have you. Here's the gear shifter right here. I know on some models, some of the old first generation models, they have them right here along the column, but right here it's just right here. Here's a cell phone charger, of course, the cigarette lighter. The the cigarette ports are actually always on in this car. Some people consider that a plus, some people consider that a minus. I would consider that more of a minus personally, but that's just me. It has come in useful sometimes. Another little cubby slot back here, and a little pen holder right here. This jack right here was for the original radio for auxiliary in. Of course, I have replaced my radio, so that's no longer functional, but it does have that if you need auxiliary in, which I would imagine most people these days do, because it did not come with Bluetooth. Here's a climate control, just a basic climate control unit. It does work fairly well. It does have the electric, I don't know what you'd call it, like the thing that shifts between the different modes. That is electric, it's not mechanical. Right here in the center console, Make sure I don't have anything personal. No, I don't have anything personal in there. Just a bunch of Sheets coupons. It's not very much space, but where it does lack space in there, it does make up in the center console. Because not only do you have this, which does come out, but you also have this huge thing that goes almost to the cup holders underneath. So you can just like store, as you can see, I just kind of throw stuff down in there. And what's interesting, I didn't actually know this, but right here's a little extra clip. And there's little rubber cushions. What that's for is, let's say you want to sit this right here. I'll actually get out so you can see this a little bit better. As you can see, there's like a really strange but really nice little thing that you can put right here in case somebody wants, you know you wanna have like maybe some snacks or something. You can put them in there. There also is a little container that goes on top that also has the same little holder that you could put, like, it's more of like a better little change holder than this, because this is kind of awkward. But you know, you can do whatever you want. It also has a change holder inside. It works. It's kind of finicky, but it does work. Nice for, you know, parking meters, the car wash, what have you. So that's really nice. And this door, by the way, was replaced. Somebody T-boned me, so they got me a brand new door. Pretty satisfied. You got some sun, of course you have your sun visors, just basic sun visors, but they do block quite a bit of light. There are something wrong with my lights, I gotta fix them. I think it's a relay, but there's a mirror in there. And you could do your makeup and whatever. It, of course, like any car, it does separate, and you can move it over here if you'd like to. I usually don't do that. And then it has your typical warnings of not going fast around corners because this is an SUV. Closing the door, there are the rear view mirrors, which are very easy to see. They're very large. I certainly have no issues seeing compared to my parents' Mercedes-Benz, which I usually have to look about 5 different times just to make, so I can confirm that nobody's there. And I've also added the blind spot mirrors that I just got at Walmart, but work very, very well. Takes a little bit to getting used to, but once you get used to them, it's perfect. And like I said before, this car actually has the sunroof, which does work. Well, it would work if I turned the car on. At least put it into accessory mode. So I guess I'll do that now. Oh, here's the key. I guess it's just a common thing for these because every key I've seen, the buttons are completely rubbed off. This one's not as bad, but still, it does happen. I'm gonna look into getting that replaced. There's the radio booting up. And by the way, there is the compass, and it does show the external the temperature. So here is the, go and turn these off. There's the sunroof right here. If you had pressed it for like a second, it would just open all the way, but I didn't do that. And you can see out into, in this case, the parking garage. Yeah, very nice to get some nice fresh air at night. I consider sunroofs for the most part a gimmick, but most people like them. This one also has the feature to open it up in the back, so in case it's raining, you want to also get some fresh air, you could do that too. And this does have the sunglass holder. I don't wear sunglasses, so I usually don't use it. It also appears to be broken, but it does also work. So yeah, there's really not much else to show you inside. It's very roomy, like I said. I imagine you probably want to hear the horn, so here's the horn. Kind of a high-pitched horn for my liking, but it's certainly, for the most part, loud. It does have cruise control, does not have stereo control, although I do believe that was an option. So let's go and get started. This one, it's actually pretty nice. You actually don't have to hold it in the whole way all the time, so watch this. That's pretty nice. I've driven a lot of cars, and for the most part, this one actually has without a doubt the smoothest power steering I've ever used. Just so easy and so nice. It's almost like just butter smooth. It just works. Here's the center the cluster right here. As far as clusters go, this one is kind of lackluster. But it only shows you the temperature, the fuel, the odometer, and the speedometer. And then in the middle, it does have the screen right here, which is controllable by these buttons right here. So I can just go and reset this because I do have a tire pressure sensor fault, like almost every car of this age does. This actually does have 143,000 miles on it. It still runs perfectly fine to my knowledge, although I'm not a car expert, but my brother is, and he usually doesn't, and he says that there's usually nothing wrong with it. That's off. You have 2 trips, obviously. It shows you how many miles till E you are. It shows you your average mile per gallon, your average mileage. And it says about 20 miles to the gallon. And then this is a real-time mileage gauge, so you can tell in real time how good of mileage you're getting. And then that's off again. It'll show you, let's see here. If we press reset, set up and then reset, should I have 16% oil life, so I have to do that. This is brake system okay, lift gate and tailgate closed, tire pressure sensor fault, and then the fuel level's okay. Everything is on one shifter on this one. Turn signals, your windshield wiper, both front and back. Of course, you do have your washer fluid for the front and back. Not that I'm going to do that because the window's down right now. But yeah, it's a pretty nifty little car. What do you say we take it on a ride? Alright, what about you say we go on the interstate? Escape that doesn't use their turn signals. this is going to be a bit of a demonstration just to show you how easy the power steering is. This is my pinky finger. I'm turning only that, and I gotta stop. The power steering is wonderful. So that's my car. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and that'll be it.